Welcome to Kavacha Smart Cut. Before we talk about the database and pattern editing functions, we will first navigate through all the sections of the software which you will need to fully utilize its functions. The home page includes several blocks with information about the latest Kavacha Island products, joining our global partner network and starting to grow your business, software guide, basic rules for PPF installation using patterns, and buy credits block for choosing a suitable credits package and refilling your account's credit balance. The main menu is found on the left side of the screen. It contains homepage, database of patterns and graphic editor, catalog of patterns you have created or edited that you can save for later use, and an archive of previously cut patterns. The bottom of the sidebar displays your current balance of square meters and expiration date, your account type, the log, which displays all events associated with your account, the profile section with detailed information about your account, and the function to activate a package ID to refill the credit balance of your account, and a button that takes you to the package selection and purchase page. Your account login is displayed on the upper right panel. It matches the email address you registered the account with. The feedback button to send us your feedback on the operation of the software or a particular pattern. We always welcome your feedback and are ready to help. In the settings menu, where you can choose the preferred measurement units by choosing between meters and inches. You will see several categories of the catalog in the database: exterior elements, automotive interior elements, motorcycles, and window films. In each section, you must select the model you are interested in by selecting the make first, then the model, year, and trim level. As you can see, the choice and further use of patterns is restricted at the moment, since the credits package has not been activated in your account yet. To continue using the database and the pattern editor, you need to refill the credits balance or activate the trial period. To purchase a credit package, go to the Buy Credits page on the home page or at the bottom of the sidebar. You can choose from several credit packages containing a number of square meters, free auto layouts, 2 auto layout packages, and an unlimited monthly and annual accounts. We will explain the auto layout function later, along with the functionality of the pattern editor tools. You can also choose a trial period. Please note that the trial period on one device is activated only once. After selecting a credit package, choose a payment method that is convenient for you. Fill in your credit card details and other information required for payment, and complete the payment. You will receive an email with information required to activate the credit package to the email address previously specified during registration. Let's go back to Buy Credits section and activate the free trial access. After clicking on the trial button, you will see a reminder message that the trial period is available only once. Even if you register a new account after clicking OK, an email with the activation codes will be sent to the email address specified earlier during registration. As you can see, the trial button has disappeared. Open the message received on your email address. This email contains the codes to activate the package and information on how to activate it. You can activate the codes at any time. There is no time limit for activation. Copy the package ID first and return to the software. Further, to activate the received codes, you need to go to the Profile menu by clicking on the button below in the side menu. In this menu, you can see detailed information about your account and balance of credits. To continue activation, click the Activate Package button. In the window that appears, enter the code, package ID, click Submit, and then copy activation code from the email, and in the field that appears, enter activation code and click Submit again. The notification on the successful activation and refilling of your balance appears on the screen. Click OK. You can also see that your balance information has been updated in your profile. Now you can continue working with patterns in the database. After successfully refilling the credits balance, select the car or motorcycle model you need. We choose the 2022 Porsche 911 Carrera Ford GTS as an example. Depending on the chosen model, you are offered one or several sets of patterns: the whole body, the front of the car, or another, depending on the specifics of the model. Pattern titles contain the details. There are many kits in case of the Porsche. The inscription wrapped before the name of a set of patterns indicates that the patterns in this set include the offsets of the film to fold it along the edges of the elements. Select the full body by double-clicking on it. The graphic editor page has opened. At the very top, a tab with the database of patterns and a tab with a previously selected set of patterns is displayed. You can open several of these tabs with different cars at the same time and quickly switch between them. Below are tools for editing patterns and interacting with them. And a little lower is a horizontal and vertical measuring ruler. Depending on the scale, it measures in centimeters and decimeters or inches and feet. As we told you earlier, the settings menu, you can choose the preferred measurement units by choosing between metric and imperial. Activate this switch to see photos of the selected car or motorcycle model. This option is helpful to check that the model, year, and equipment of the car or motorcycle you need are correct. We do our best to add photos for each model promptly. In the main field of the editor, you see patterns of car body elements, previously grouped depending on the part of the body. Patterns are located on a long canvas, displayed in a lighter color than the main background. This canvas is the display of a roll of film in expanded form. The default canvas size is 1.49 times 15 meters, but you can always change the canvas size by selecting one of the options or by setting your own size value at the bottom left of the editor field. Even though the standard width of a PPF roll is 1.52 meters, we recommend using a 1.49 wide web to avoid errors during cutting on the plotter. For full interaction with the graphic editor, you will need an ordinary 3-button computer mouse. To zoom in and out, use the mouse wheel. Zooming will be automatically directed toward the mouse cursor's location. Press and hold the mouse wheel to move the canvas. Or select this hand tool on the toolbar, and by holding the left mouse button, move around the screen. Switch back to the cursor. Use the left mouse button to select the required element. Click the right mouse button to zoom out to show all patterns. Select a specific part and right-click on it to expand that part to full screen. To rotate the part, use the arrows that appear on each side of the pattern by holding the left mouse button and moving the mouse in different directions. The control function's memo is in the upper right corner of the screen. To select several elements, hold down the left mouse button and select the zone of the required patterns. The patterns that are fully in the rectangle will be selected. Select several patterns by holding down the Shift key and selecting the desired patterns with the left mouse button. When multiple items are selected, they can be moved together. By double-clicking the left mouse button on the selected element, or by pressing the Edit Anchor button on the sidebar, you will proceed to editing the pattern. If you double-click the left mouse button again or press the Escape button on the keyboard, the editing mode will end. In Edit mode, select one or more points, hold Shift and select additional points. If you have selected unnecessary points, then by holding down the Control key and selecting certain points, you can deselect them from the total number of selected points. You can move these points to any place, thereby changing the shape of the part in the right places. The closer you zoom in, the more dots are displayed on the pattern, and thus you can make more detailed adjustments if you need them. If you need to set additional anchor points on the pattern for precise editing, you can use the Add Anchor tool to do that. Hold down the left mouse button and draw a line where you want to add a point, and release the mouse button. As you can see, the point appeared exactly at the intersection of the pattern line and the tool line. Now you can perform the necessary editing of the pattern. Also, you can delete unwanted points by clicking the Delete button in the toolbar or by pressing on your keyboard. In this case, the two segments will merge into one, connecting the nearest anchor points. By selecting the desired points and using the Edge expansion function, you can set the exact amount by which you want to increase a part in the selected area, or vice versa, reduce it by selecting internal in the setup before using this function. This is a very handy feature when you need to enlarge a pattern in a certain way. By selecting the entire pattern without highlighting certain points, using this function will increase or decrease the size of the entire pattern on all sides at once at the same time as the edge length is changed. A blue line shadow of the original pattern is automatically created, so that you can clearly see the change in pattern shapes. You will clearly see it by dragging the pattern aside. The created template shadow cannot be cut out, it is only visible when editing the patterns. To remove the shadow, click the Delete Shadow button. To create the shadow line, click the Shadow button. Auto layout is one of the most convenient and useful features when working with templates. This function uses the help of artificial intelligence algorithms and the power of a cloud server to make it possible to use the area of the film as efficiently as possible by cutting out patterns using a minimum amount of it. Select the patterns that you need to cut and click the Auto Layout button. In the window that appears, the pattern grouping width is configured. It duplicates the specified settings for the canvas width, interval between patterns, auto layout execution time, and settings for grouping patterns into segments. We recommend using the automatic mode, since the processing time depends on the number and shape of the patterns. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to get the best result, but sometimes over 5 to 10 minutes. The balance of your available auto layouts is shown here. If the number of free auto layouts that come with the Square Meters package is not enough, you can always buy them separately on the Buy Credits page. To start the auto layout process, click the Start button. Confirm with OK. This scale displays the status of the processing. In this field, you see the pattern layout before auto layout. In the field below will show the result after it is completed. As we said, the auto layout process takes place on a powerful cloud server, so the characteristics of your device will not affect the speed and result of the processing. A basic laptop and a top computer will provide the same result. The settings memo is in the upper right corner of the window. After the processing is complete, the program will display the best pattern layout option. The processing is complete. You can see the result. The patterns are distributed as efficiently and close to each other as possible. Here you see the material savings indicator, time spent on the layout of the patterns and the length of the material that is required to cut these patterns. Click Add to Canvas to continue working with patterns. The patterns have moved under the main canvas so that they do not mix with the rest of the patterns. Delete unwanted patterns by selecting it and then pressing the delete key on your keyboard, or by clicking the delete button on the toolbar. Select the patterns you just laid out, then click the Align Canvas button to easily move them as close to the edge of the canvas as possible. In order to save the patterns that you have edited, click the Save button, input a description and click Save As. After saving, the tab in which you worked with this pattern is automatically closed. And to continue working with it, you need to go to the My Patterns section on the main sidebar. If your pattern is not displayed automatically, then click the Search button. When there are a lot of such sets of patterns, for convenience, use the search function by the name of the car model or the description keywords that you added when saving. Your saved patterns will open only in the My Patterns section. Just like in the Database section, you can open more than one tab with different sets of patterns to work with them simultaneously. You can continue to work with the saved patterns in the My Patterns section, and at the same time open another set of patterns in the Database section. You can switch between open tabs and work with them simultaneously. If necessary, you can copy patterns from one tab to another. For example, in order to cut them together at one time, let's open another set of patterns in order to copy some of them and combine them with another set of patterns. To do this, select the required model in the database. As you can see, it opened in a new tab. Select the desired pattern, copy it by clicking the Copy button on the toolbar, or use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+V. Then return to the Work tab, paste the copied pattern by clicking on the Paste button on the toolbar, then move the cursor to the place where you want to place the patterns on the canvas and click the left mouse button. Or use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+V. The pattern will be inserted at the location where the mouse pointer is located. Let's copy a few more patterns from the My Patterns section. And also paste them into the Working tab in the Database section. Now all the patterns you need are on one canvas, and you can cut them together. If some or more of the patterns are displayed in red, this means that this part isn't overlapping with another part, or the part crosses the edge of the canvas, and they need to be moved until they become the standard color again. If some of the parts are displayed in red, and at this moment you press the plot button, then the program will warn you against this and will not allow you to continue cutting. After setting the correct position of the patterns on the canvas, click Plot again. In the window that appears, you see a preview of the canvas with patterns that will be cut. If you go back and remove any pattern from the canvas by moving it outside the canvas, then returning to the preview, you will see that this pattern is not there and it will not be cut. Below is information about the number of square meters used for cutting and the balance of your available credits. Please note that when cutting, the calculated area is considered based on the extreme points of the height and length of the pattern. If there are empty spaces in the part, they will also be calculated when determining the usable area. As in the example with this part, the area used is calculated, as displayed in this rectangle. Choose the plotter for pattern cutting here. This is the segment option. Enable it for the plotter to cut the film within one segment, one after another. You can set the length of each segment into which the total length of the film will be divided. This option is usually used when cutting large and long parts to prevent the film from shifting and creasing during the cutting process. By enabling this option, the plotter's needle will return to the beginning of the canvas after cutting is completed. This is a rarely used option. If you're ready to cut the film, click Plot now. The Align Canvas tool moves the selected patterns as close as possible to the bottom left edge of the canvas. We recommend using this feature only for one pattern or for a pre-assembled group of patterns. or as we have shown earlier on patterns grouped after auto layout. If you use this function to align the patterns one by one, then, as you can see, they will line up one after the other along the bottom edge of the canvas. You can duplicate patterns using the copy and paste buttons or the standard keyboard shortcuts, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. You can delete a pattern by selecting it and then clicking the Delete button on the toolbar, or by pressing the Delete key on your keyboard. You can also delete all patterns at once by clicking the Clear button. To undo previous actions, use the Undo button on the top toolbar or the standard Ctrl+C keyboard shortcut. To redo the action, press the Redo button. With the Group tool, you can link two separate patterns to make two patterns or two shapes into one and cut them one inside the other, like a hood emblem. Select the patterns you want to combine and click on the Group button. Using the Ungroup tool, you can unlink different elements of the same pattern from each other, such as the same emblem on the hood or the door handle, in order to cut these elements separately or not cut them at all. Using the Horizontal Mirror and Vertical Mirror tools, you can mirror patterns horizontally and vertically, respectively. This feature is especially useful for mirroring elements of a car's interior, if, for example, you have a right-hand drive version of the car. Let's select a set of interior patterns, for example, for the BMW 5 Series. Select all the patterns and click Horizontal Mirror. The following tools are Cut and Close Pattern and Cut and Unclose Pattern. These two tools work like a knife that cuts the film. Cut and Close Pattern tool allows you to separate patterns and close them along the cut line, making them full-fledged figures separate each from other. Select the tool, hold the left mouse button, and draw a line through the pattern where you want to cut it. Cut and Unclose Pattern tool cuts the shape without drawing a closing cut line, leaving these sides open. Now, using the Generate to Polygon tool, you can close the open areas of the shape with a connecting line between the anchor points on the open side of the pattern. The Zoom Lock function locks or unlocks the ability to change the size of the patterns. Unlocking allows you to change the size of the patterns vertically, horizontally, or proportionally in all directions by dragging the corner point. By combining the Shift key on the keyboard with the left mouse button and dragging the mouse over a corner point, the size of the pattern will change from the center of the pattern. To measure patterns, use the Ruler tool. Move the mouse pointer to the point where you want to start measuring the distance, hold down the left mouse button, and move the pointer to the end point. Next to the pointer, you will see information about the measured distance. Release the left mouse button to complete the measurement. Use the Pin tool to draw a custom shape. Press the left mouse button to set the first point. Draw lines by clicking the left mouse button again in the places where you need to set new points to change the direction of the line. Double-click the left mouse button to complete the shape. To connect the first and end points, click on the Generate to Polygon tool. Your shape is now ready to be cut. Also use the Pin tool to measure the pattern. Click the left mouse button once, set the start point, and draw a line to the end point that needs to be measured. The distance indicator is shown next to the mouse pointer. Double-click the left mouse button to finish. The Text tool allows you to easily create different lettering or numbers that you can also cut out. For example, the name of your company, or a racetrack number. Use the rectangle, circular, and triangle tools to create the corresponding shapes. When holding down the Shift key on the keyboard, the shapes will be created equilateral. Here you can import your PLT files and also edit them using the Kavacha SmartCut tools. You can also import an image and create a pattern using the software tools. We told you about all the features and tools of Kavacha SmartCut. Thank you for watching this video to the end. For all questions and recommendations, please contact our support. We will be happy to assist you. We hope you will enjoy using our software. Thank you for choosing Kavacha SmartCut.